David, I thought it'd be really useful just to have a conversation about us, about our relationship, about the way we've worked together over the years, about plans for the future. And probably the easiest way to start that is just if you can maybe introduce yourself, your name, your title, and give us a bit of background about Johnstons, about what you guys do and what specifically we do here in Hawick.
Absolutely. My name's David Hamilton. I'm the site director for Johnstons of Elgin. You're based in Hawick. Johnstons of Elgin are a family-run company, 227 years old. We've been in Hawick for, I think, 43 years. So we've been here a wee while. Obviously, head office is up in Elgin. We do all the knitwear in the Hawick site, and up in Elgin we do the weaving. So that's a differentiation between the two sites.
Okay. And most people will have heard of Johnstons. I was out for lunch on Sunday in the centre of Edinburgh and walked past your store there. But I think the bit that people forget is maybe that split between weaving and knitwear, but also just the number, as well as your own brand, which is really strong.
Yeah.
Just the number of global brands and super luxe brands that you guys work with.
We're very fortunate to have the customer base we have, but we do a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Our aim here in Hawick is to be a world-class knitwear company. I think we have that, but the aim here is to be number one. If we're going to be number one, we need everything to be right, whether that's our training, whether it's our management style, or whether it's the infrastructure we actually have in Hawick. And the main thing for Hawick is we're growing, which has been fantastic. When I joined the company back 17 years ago, we had 140 people. We're now close to 300 based in Hawick now.
In Hawick?
Yes.
Wow. So we're over double in that 17-year window.
Yep.
Which I think it probably takes us around to that really interesting thing. You said you've been here 17 years. I'm fairly confident. I've been at Aitken Turnbull 15 years. So I know I've been working with you for that long.
Yep.
But I think as a business, we've been working with you guys for about 20 years as a partnership, really.
I would think so, yes.
And when we did this space, the design centre, we've also done the yarn store, the R&D centre, the cafe, the shop.
And now the new project.
And now this new project as well. And I know we've got some really nice footage of that we'll be able to show as well at some point. I think the thing that strikes me in that is over 20 years with a client, there's 6 projects. That's a great place to be from our perspective.
Absolutely.
But it's not always the way these things go. And quite often you find that clients jump from partner to partner to partner.
Yeah.
And it stops being partnership and it just becomes about, we just need someone to do a job.
Yeah. Whereas
certainly my experience working with you has always been one of there's a quest for true partnership, for real, genuine partnership. Now I know that extends to us,
yep.
And the team we've brought in on this project in terms of the contractor and support. But I think the way I see it is there's a bigger partnership here, isn't there? There's Johnson's partnership with Hawick as a place.
Yes.
Is that important to you?
Of course it is. It's a family-run business, and what the family talk about is 200 years' time. They've been going for 200 years. What's the next 200 years looking like? And we're making a commitment to Hawick. We're making a commitment to Elgin, to employing people. We're part of the community.
Yeah, and that's amazing because, again, we started in Hawick in 1887 as a business, so we're not as old as yourselves, but we've got a fair heritage around here,
yeah.
And that longevity with the community, seeing a community, the ups and downs economically,
yes.
But as a skill set, what you guys do here is what Hawick's known for.
Absolutely.
So keeping that here, elevating it, moving into that higher level, working with your own brand, but also this kind of fantastic customer group you have.
Yes.
What else has helped in that? Have you found, we from what we do for a living, we often find that one of the big complaints is there's no funding, councils are difficult. Yeah. I know that's different here, isn't it?
It is. We've been very fortunate to work closely with Scottish Borders Council. Yeah. SOCI have been very supportive of all our ideas of what we're doing, but we are bringing jobs to the area, and we will continue to bring jobs to the area. I've got big plans for Hawick in the coming five years. Where we've moved it on to, it's just a stepping stone to where I want it to be, and as that being world class, completely world class. When it comes to partnerships, you touched on that earlier. I'm great at making knitwear. What I'm not great at is putting buildings up, and that's why I need to engage people like yourself. And it has been so easy working with Aitken and Turnbull, working with yourself, working with the team. I need specialists to work round about us, and it is partnerships. You're quite right to touch on this. Is 5 or 6 projects we've been involved in. But why would we go anywhere else when it's such an easy experience to deal with you, with the professionalism you bring and the expertise you bring? Because that's what we need.
Yeah.
As I say, because I'm no expert when it comes to putting buildings up, but I've got somebody in yourself who actually leads me through this journey.
Yeah, and for us, building that knowledge with a client, as you say, you're an expert in knitwear. I'm really not. But understanding your needs, your requirements, your processes, your site. I mean, I remember when we used to talk of Johnstons of Elgin as a site down here.
Yeah.
We're probably a campus or a village now.
We've now talked about the Johnsons village.
Which is an amazing development to see the growth through, acquiring local sites, the land around, but also converting adjacent buildings, repurposing them, and tying that, knitting it together. That's an awful pun, sorry. Tying it all together to try and ensure that what we have is both visually but operationally a unified campus for you. Absolutely. A place where actually we don't just provide you with buildings, but we understand your needs and we provide you with somewhere that you can actually use your process, because clearly the process is really important to you.
Absolutely.
In terms of what you produce and how that goes through. I know I've had the privilege actually walking around the whole site with you a couple of times and seeing everything from these huge computer controlled machines down to hand finishing.
It's key. That's what we do in
It's amazing.
We invest a lot in technology, but we also invest a huge amount in training. It's bringing the younger generation on, because we talk about the next 200 years. If we don't have people, we don't have anything. Yeah. So it's really important that we bring both on. We spend money on technology, but we also spend money on training and making it as good an environment for people as we can.
Brilliant. And in terms of people, you said there, 140 when you joined, up to 300 now.
Yeah.
When the new facility's up and running, that should be later this year. We're looking at what, 350?
We're looking at about 350.
Wow.
Which is a great stepping stone. We need to fill it. I've got an idea of where we're going to take the turnover to at that point. But then there is future plans to move it on once we fill that place, because we will fill it.
Amazing. So when we're looking at 350, that's 350 skilled jobs in Hawick.
Absolutely.
How do you find the recruitment market? How's the employment market? Is it strong?
It's strong, but it's tough because you've got a concentration of good knitwear companies in Hawick. So we're fishing in a very small pool. Yeah. So we need to be better than the rest. Yeah. So that's why we pay living wage. That's why we're engaging with schools. We're bringing school leavers in as part of the curriculum at Hawick High School. Wow. So we're now getting engaging with the schools. We're going to fairs. We're trying to do everything we can to attract people. Yeah. But it's one thing attracting them, another thing's keeping them. And it's making sure that they have the most positive experience they can working at Johnston's.
And as you said, that's, yes, facility, building, the environment's part of that, but that's also the leadership style, the support, the colleague, the entire environment and experience.
Absolutely. But it's super important that the young people come into the business. You look at the average age of the workforce, one of my key things is always trying to get the average age of the workforce down, so we can then continue to be successful in the years to come.
So you can invest in that future and grow your... I mean, we would always say it's that grow your own, isn't it? We've always done that in the Borders. It's the how do we ensure that we're not just employing, but we're training, we're upskilling, we're providing that future, for the area, for our communities, but also for our industries and for our businesses.
Absolutely. Look at Elgin. Elgin, we employ, as a company, we employ 1,100 people. As I say, there's only 300 in Hawick. Yeah. I would like, why does it stop at 350? I'd love Hawick to be, in my time, before I hand it over to someone else to go forward, I'd love it to be 500 employees. But not just a number, it's been world class. Yeah. It's been the best you possibly can be. When I think of training shoes, I think of Nike or Adidas. When you think cashmere knitwear, I want you to think Johnston's. Yeah. I think we're up there, but it's that next step.
But there's space to grow in that.
Yes.
And I think that's really, it's probably why you said at the start of this that you come to us for our expertise, because we're professional, we're easy to work with, because we understand you. But I think part of the reason we're able to do that is because you have such a clear understanding of who you are. Yes. And there's such clarity within Johnstons of, we want to be world class, we know what we produce, we know how we produce it, we know what makes us better, and working within that framework of the pursuit of excellence, effectively, and then how we can support you in that makes our jobs much easier. Yeah. It's clear, we know what you're aiming for. You're not aiming for how quick can I get something done, or what's the easiest way, it's what's the right way.
Absolutely. One of the key things for us in this new build, because we're covering over the car park, was buying additional land to support where we could park the cars. Yeah. So I think you set up the first meeting with Scottish Borders Council. Yeah, I remember that. We had it in the coffee shop downstairs. You put us in touch with the right people for the decisions to be made. We couldn't do the build if we hadn't had the car parking space. Yeah. So suddenly we've now got two bits of land, which we've now doubled our car parking spaces up to 50 spaces when we lost only 23 with the new build. Yeah. So that's all super important. If we don't get the car parking right,
how do workers get here?
Absolutely.
How do visitors get here? How do people come here and shop?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. And you said growth. I mean, obviously, growth can be commercially sensitive.
Yes.
There are business planning elements to it. But I know you've always said to me the aim is to say, look, how do we grow? One, to kind of achieve that excellence, but two, to secure future.
Yes.
So over time, is your plan then not just to grow through production, through technology, through that side of it? And we know that's quite a theme we're seeing now in lots of manufacturing and production is, it's actually reducing headcount of workers, but increasing production. Seems to me that's not the way you're going.
There's always a level of automation, and we're looking at the technology. It will take some. The growth we've got planned here will need to be through technology as well as the growth of training young people. I think it's a bit of both. If it was going to be in this hand here, if we were going to grow the business that we wanted to grow, I'd maybe have to employ 500 people right now.
Yeah.
And as I say, it's got to be a steady, where do we get the people from?
Yeah.
But also making sure the training's right.
Yes.
Because we're working for all these top fashion brands in the world, as well as our own brand, which is now, we've now opened a new store in London. We need to be absolutely spot on, because we're now commanding a price and people expect a certain level of quality when it comes to a Johnston's garment. Every garment's hand finished. That's done by people.
Yeah.
And that's so important to this business. The strength of Johnston's is not what I do. It's every person that comes in here, and they all contribute to being the company we are today.
So David, one of the things that really interests me, and I suppose we've touched on it, we're in one of the original mill buildings here.
Yes.
But yeah, at the same time, the new project we're working on with is a brand new purpose-built building. There's a balance in your estate which interests me, that the desire to, it's not just to knock everything down and flatten it and build purpose-built new, effectively sheds sometimes, like a lot of manufacturing companies do.
Absolutely.
The Johnson story, that the longevity and the heritage, I think, reflects itself in the building stock, that you also have proper heritage buildings.
Yes.
But we've always found that one of the things you've always been asking us and pushing us on is, how do we make them better? Not just functionally and environmentally, but from a sustainability point of view. How do we actually improve the fabric? Is that something you see driving decisions in your industry?
Absolutely. Any time we're spending money at all, environmental question always comes into it. We're looking at payback and what's the right thing to do for the environment, but also for the company.
Yeah.
And that's what we do, and that's why we engage with people like yourself, because I'm no expert in this, but I certainly know somebody that is.
One of the things that I think we want to look at a little bit, chat through, is that the new building we're working with. Obviously, this was the design centre originally. Yeah. We previously did the R&D building with you, which the new building will join onto. We've worked on the yarn store and all those projects. This new building, is it for a specific function? Is it to do with a specific change in your industry, or is it simply about growth and expansion?
Well, it's growth and expansion, but what it's also allowing us to do is look at the layout of the whole shop floor and move things around where I get a better flow of work. We produce a lot of accessories. We also do a lot of knitwear. I'm now looking at doing specific lines, a knitwear line and an accessories line, with the additional 1,000 square metres that we're now getting with the new build. So it allows us to be, with the whole management team, are now looking at the functionality of this new space and allowing us to utilise the space that we're currently in better than what we currently have.
Brilliant. So actually it allows that efficiency drive again. And we talked briefly earlier about automation and I mean, some of the machines now are phenomenal.
Yes.
But obviously older parts of the building stock don't really lend themselves to using them, do they? They're quite specific, large equipment.
It used to be the knit machines previously were frames built Hawick, effectively back in the day. We don't have any frames any longer. We've now moved to more modern type machinery. As I say, it lends itself to modern manufacturing, smaller runs of business. The frames previously were great for bigger orders, but now the orders are becoming smaller, more complex, and that's why you need the Shima machines that we're currently buying to cope with the demand of the order book.
Again, I remember you showed me one of the Shima machines in the past, and it's very different from my expectation, I suppose. That picture in your head of frames, and then seeing this huge computer-controlled thing, but then sitting side by side with someone hand finishing and the care and attention that actually goes in from both pieces of equipment, both the people and the facility.
Need the automation, but every piece of knitwear or accessory made in Johnston's is always hand finished. And it's absolutely key. And that's what allows us to command the prices that UK manufacture needs. Yeah, so that's the thing. UK manufacture is going to be higher than overseas manufacture because of the nature of doing the right things, employing the people, paying them the right money. So that's where we are. But we're committed to always being made in Scotland. So that's what we do.
Which is a great commitment to have, obviously.
Absolutely. And the family are very passionate about that. Everything we do is made in Scotland.
Made in Scotland. And as you say, the way you then deliver on that and the way you command those rates is the quality you produce.
It's got to be.
And the consistency of quality.
Absolutely. But as I say, we've been doing it for a wee while, and we can always, I don't think we'll ever be happy. I'm always driving to be as good as we can be.
Yeah.
We're as good as it gets in the UK, but we want to be truly world class.
David, I know you've said a number of times that you're not an expert in buildings, but you've done quite a few of them now.
Yes.
We've certainly, worked together a number of times on this campus, and I think over time you might not be an expert, but you've probably come to, one, a greater understanding, but two, you've probably caught in your head the kind of golden rules from a client. Now, I can come in and tell clients what I think they need to consider, what's important, and that's years of experience in the field, obviously, but I've not been a client before. There's probably for me, certainly a really interesting thing in, as a client, as a repeat client, what is it that you think about when you're starting a project? What worries you? What concerns you? And more importantly, what helps you make those decisions about how you're going to proceed?
Absolutely. I've got a vision. I've always got a vision of what it looks like in my head. What I don't know is how to carry out that vision. And that's why I engage with yourself. As I say, the experiences we've had previously have all been positive. Professional, on time, everything that you've done for us. I don't know who else I would work with. You're local, you've provided a fantastic service to Johnstons. On the future buildings that we're looking at going forward, why would we not go anywhere else? Because it's a comfort factor. We know one another really well.
Yeah.
As I say, the business knows your company very well. Why would we not want to work? It feels right. And when you're sitting there, and I know what I want, I don't know how to achieve it, but I'm sitting with a team of people that know how to achieve it. And that's what really makes it easy for me and takes some of the stress, not all of the stress, but some of the stress out of it, knowing that you're in safe hands and you know you're working with professionals. And that's super important.
Brilliant. Thank you. Well, look, you've just been really nice about us, which is great. Again, from my point of view, working with Johnstons it's a great experience. Working with a brand who know what they're about, have such clarity, have a real pursuit of excellence, which is unfortunately not entirely common these days. Bottom line is so important, and I understand that, but to be able to exalt quality over that and to really push to deliver not just the best you can, but better.
Yes.
Every time, that's one of the joys of working with Johnstons as a company, but also with you. You just said there, that clarity of vision. What I love about working with a client is when they say, I know exactly where I'm trying to get to and I have no idea how I'm going to get there. But your bit of the journey is to take me on that. And often we find we don't end up exactly where you thought because that vision changes over time.
Of course it does.
But it's the openness, it's the understanding, it's the relationship.
Yeah.
And like you said there, it's between companies, it's between individuals.
Yeah.
And it comes back to where we started this conversation, doesn't it? It comes back to partnership, and not partnership on paper, but true partnership.
Yes.
Johnstons with Aitken, Turnbull, Johnstons with Hawick,
Yeah.
With the whole supply chain, those that advise and support councils, funders, economic development bodies like SOCI.
Yeah.
It's rare, I think, to find projects, not just one, but multiple projects, where all of those bodies have been able to work so closely together.
It shows what's possible in the borders when you get the best of the best and everyone coming together. Look what can happen.
Absolutely. Thanks for your time, David.
No bother at all, sir. Thank you.